Nice to see you in person, Clean, by the way.
Do you hear him, Clean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Not gonna say nice to see you back. Nice to meet you.
Well, I thought he was talking to you.
No, he said you, Clean.
Oh, nice, nice to see you live and in person. You know.
Just giving y'all crap. Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Atlanick Ocean podcast. We are here with CMatt Die from Alpha Surfers, and as always, Clean. How y'all doing?
Hey, good to see you.
I'm doing well, doing real well. How about you? I know nobody asks you how you're doing. It's always, the other way around. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I'm stupid bullish. Like lately, I've just been stupid bullish. I sold all my snek at one point and then panic bought right back in, like within seconds. I was like, what the hell am I doing? I was like, what am I doing? This is so dumb. I was trying to like play in the top and then buy at the bottom. I was like, no, you're stupid. You're not going to be right. It's going to go popping off as soon as you think, you should wait like a day or two. So I bought right back in. And sure enough, like 2-3 days later, we're back at all time highs. Well, monthly highs, whatever. The most recent high, right? Not its highest of high, but what's going on, CMatt? I'll let you kind of kick it off since you're the guest. How you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Personally, I can't play meme tokens. So, unless it's like buying something when it first comes out and then flipping it, I just can't really get into that craze. But yeah, appreciate you giving me some time. Let me come on. Basically what Alpha Surfers is like an investment club. And the idea kind of came to me around early last year. I was seeing like DAOs pop up, and a lot of the DAOs is kind of like move slowly. They're like dinosaurs just because there's so many minds in the kitchen, so many cooks in the kitchen. It just takes a while. So I felt like I could do something better and bring a little bit more something on the educational side for not only for Cardano, but for blockchain, for new investors, people just coming in, like what is DeFi, what is this, what is that. So I felt like I could provide that. My background, I actually got into trading in the late 90s, like 98, 99. And for anybody who was around during that time, like, just imagine not placing a trade that whole time, just learning. I never really thought about it until many years after the fact. But that's basically how I started. Like, I had a couple uncles that came in and taught me some things. And then 2009, I started teaching other people and, started some investment funds, started some investment groups. And this was before like the whole alpha group thing was coined. So, it was a lot of fun. And also most of my knowledge came from that period, the traditional finance. When I came into crypto, I just started seeing the same issues. 90%, 95% of all traders lose money, which is the same in the traditional world. So with Alpha Surfers, I wanted to bring something different. We wanted to give trade ideas, but also have investments. So our 100% of our prime mint is going straight into investments. We're going to trade that and then reward the holders with some of the profits that we make, the majority of the profits that we make. Also having a research arm, so that way people can come in and say, have you heard about this project? We're like, oh yeah, we have a thing about it. Go read this, go watch this, whatever it is. And then education, I think is huge. Education has been so important for me in my life. So just having a spot for people to learn. So we've already done a couple education segments. One of them on DeFi, how to look at DeFi differently than what a lot of people talk about. Permanent loss and permanent gain, terms like that, but also how do you make money from it? Because that's what everybody wants, right? Most people come into crypto to make 100,000% gains, but how do you make money between that, right? So that's kind of the void that we want to fill. And that's kind of it. We went over the light paper earlier today, and actually we got a new mod, Flow Guy, just an awesome person, and he really helped out with that light paper. I see you in chat, awesome. Yeah, and that's really the idea, is to be the best investment club with a home base on Cardano. So we're not just making investments in Cardano. Right now in the Discord, we have crypto, we have foreign exchange, and we have the US stock market. And that's predominantly what we're going to use to make money. 2-5 years from now, we're going to obviously diversify a little bit, get into internet businesses, eventually into real estate and stuff like that. But this is where we start. We start investments, build up, and holders will be rewarded. One of our goals is to we have a prime collection, which is 1,129 NFTs. We want to take that and actually build upon it. So that collection will get royalties. They will get a piece of the profits that we deliver. We've already done very well. We've already, not quite sure the percentage overall, but it's around that 40% area so far from the funds that we've taken to what we've actually made. First mint was in March, very small mint. Then we had another one a few months later, and then another one a few months later, one in September, and then we're going to have our fifth one up in between Christmas and New Year's. I meant to talk to Atlanick beforehand to see if we could give out a couple of whitelists, and if he's okay with that, we'll give out a couple of whitelists in the audience. And then to grow the Discord, we have a goal to actually grow it. So 1,129 prime NFTs, they're going to be able to collect those distributions, which will be quarterly. The first one is going to be at the end of Q1, and then it'll be quarterly from there. Now, to build upon that, we have our Shark Fund. I've had a couple funds in my life so far. I've mostly worked with multimillionaires. So this is the first time where the majority of the investors won't be multimillionaires. At least that's, the idea. Did you guys have any questions yet so far, or?
So I just figured I'd show, the alpha surfers so that people could get an idea of what NFT project you were at first. And also, I wanted to know if you have to hold these NFTs to receive like any sort of the benefits. So you say you got the money from one of the mints or from multiple mints, right? I think you're on phase 5 now.
Yes.
And you've taken that money and you've turned a 40% profit so far. Is that correct?
Yes.
So with that funds, is it going to be similar to what is it, the Gophers, right? Where they're putting the money that they've made back into buying more miners. So you're going to take that money and put it into more investments, or has some of that already been distributed to the holders?
It's a good question. So the idea is, on the income that we generate, a portion of that goes straight to the holders, and it will be every quarter. So at the end of quarter 2024 in April, we'll do a distribution. Now, the first quarter is an interesting one. I don't think doing on April 1st makes sense. So the end of March makes more sense, just because, April Fool's Day, that just doesn't seem right. But other than that, every quarter we'll do a distribution. And holding an Alpha Surfer Prime NFT will let everybody know there's going to be a snapshot on such and such date. If you have an NFT, you'll get a quarterly distribution. And we're going to do a couple tiers on that. So if you hold an NFT, you're going to get a distribution, and it'll be 50%. And then if you do tier 2 tasks, which will just be help out with research most likely, you'll get an additional 10%. And then there'll be a tier 3, which we're still kind of discussing everything, what that's going to make. But you'll be able to get up to 70%, which I think is pretty phenomenal.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Clean, did you have any questions?
That's pretty dope. Also, I like the aspect of, like, you're not just sticking to Cardano, because there's a lot of things that move at a different pace than Cardano, right? And we saw that last bull run, like, where Cardano was stuck at like $1.24 for like months, or whatever, while everything else was just like popping off, and traditional finance and other things like that was really like going to work. So I think that's a smart thing. It's not something that I've heard about other alpha groups doing, so that's definitely something that can be a leg up for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, and that's one of the things I wanted to do is, okay, I don't want to just be an alpha group, because that's a little bit boring for me. I don't want to just give trade ideas, but putting our money where our mouth is and saying, okay, well, we can take this money and turn it into something more. And that's the idea. And then we show our trades in the Discord unedited. So like you can see like this trade was done on such and such date. And then you can look at the monthly results and the weekly results that we show, and you can line all that up. And then with the education, once that comes in, people can see all of that. So I think it's really like, giving you teaching you how to fish rather than just giving you a fish, so to speak.
Gotcha. Yeah. So with these NFTs, there's only 245 at the moment, and then the phase 5 is coming up next. So how many are going to be distributed in phase 5?
That is really just dependent on who's going to mint, because we keep the whitelist very small, and that's how we gauge, who's going to be able to get in. So I imagine it's probably going to be like 30 to 50 on phase 5. That was a mint that me and the team have been talking about. And then a lot of the members were like, hey, can you open it back up? Because I want to mint more. So that's really the idea, is of just keeping the whitelist very, very small. Like on phase 1, we kept it small, phase 2 small, and then we were just growing under the radar. And then about a month ago, one of the members showed that there was another group throwing shade at us, talking bad about us. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Like people are finding out about us. Like now it's time to start marketing, right? So that's, why I reached out to you, and I've reached out to some others that I'm going to do a couple more talks out there and just kind of get our narrative out there of what we're doing, what we're trying to accomplish. And, the overall goal of just building something sustainable. And I think that's really the most important piece, is building something sustainable, and then also have a piece attached that can help others. So I was alluding to our shark fund that we have, and that allows us to have a fund, like an investment fund, where projects can invest into, and we're actually able to give them a little bit of profit. But there's no like NFTs or anything. You don't have to, all that money that can be lost, right? If you tell a project buy 30 NFTs, all that money gets lost between fees and minting, right? So having that, we're allowing projects to come in, invest, and be able to sustain them. And then a small portion of what we take, a small portion of that will go into our treasury and just build the Alpha Surfers treasury. So it's like a win-win-win, like everybody just does well.
So I think people might want to know some of your plays or some of your thoughts of future plays, what you'll be doing in the next few months before getting into the project. And I think maybe if they agree with your plays, they'll maybe be more likely to mint this time, if they have whitelist or whichever. So do you have any plays on the horizon, anything that you're seeing, anything you're thinking about?
Well, like right now, for example, I just made a trade long Cardano at 60, 70. When was that? About 51 minutes ago.
Okay.
Yesterday, I made an Arbitrum trade that did 21%. So I try to show the trades as I go. I love trading the Australian dollar, so I show that a lot in the Discord. Did I give you the Vinny roll in the Discord? Let me check real quick.
Gotcha.
But that gives you the ability to like see some of the trades.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be cool to go look at some trades. So also, I guess there's not anybody to tell you like, hey, don't do that. It's just like, is it all on you for the most part?
For the most part, let me give you the role really, really quickly, and then I'll respond if that's cool.
All good.
Well, he also said he had researchers, right?
All right, there you go. Yeah, so I talked to one of my team members, Sir Lost. He and I do a lot. He came into the project in December of last year. Seems like a long time ago. And he and I kind of go back and forth with stuff, and he tells me these ideas, and I do make quick judgments. So he might tell me about a project, I'm like, well, that's garbage. I don't want to know about it. But then a week later, maybe I really like it, right? So I try to look at things with an unbiased lens, and I know that's difficult. I was learning how to trade in 1998, 1999, 2000, 2001. I placed my first trade in, it was either the midway through 02 or in 03. I don't really remember. So I took a long time to really think about it. And then I have spent a lot on education as far as like the mental side of it. And that's how, like, a lot of people tell me I'm calm. I like to, take my time. And I think that's important. You want to be able to see things with an unbiased lens. And that's very, very difficult for any human, right? Because you want to be able to look at stuff and say, well, I own this. Everyone else should like it too. Let me go online and start talking about it. But being able to look at it through an unbiased lens, and like Coinecta, for example, like I was telling everybody, I'm getting into Coinecta ISPO. I'm going to buy some. It looks good. I took out an Optum bond, told everybody about it, because I thought it was going to do very well, and it has. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I think being able to look at stuff differently, like Hunt, for example, when Hunt came out, we went in strong, owned over 100,000 tokens. When it went up, we sold half, made a profit, and now we have 51,088 tokens for the treasury, and we paid nothing for it. So we like to do stuff like that. I call it building a position for free. I don't really know a term, but that's how I look at it. Like we have what's it called? Option flow, OPT token. We traded that. Now we have a little over 1,000 for free, and we made a profit. So that's kind of how I like to look at things. We also formed the OG Surf Squad recently. That's going to be our think tank. So if you're an OG and you own a Prime NFT, then you're basically the sounding board. So we get to ask you questions. They actually voted for the mint between Christmas and New Year's. They voted for the price, the amount that they can actually mint, the whitelist versus OG. The whitelist role we call the surf spotter role, just because I thought that was pretty cool. I try to tie everything into surfing, right? So like Benny is just like an outsider. You're not a local surfer. You're coming from the outside.
Is that surfer lingo?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I try to tie in like some surfer lingo.
Gotcha.
Wait, so are you from the West Coast then?
I am not. I was born in West Virginia, but then when I was 6.5, I moved to South Carolina.
Okay.
I do like. Well, I used to go to the California quite a bit. I haven't in a while. But yeah, I do love the ocean. I've loved the ocean in my entire life. I don't really have a preference, East Coast, West Coast. East Coast, it's harder to find waves. Like there really needs to be a storm at sea and high tide. Like if those two factors correlate, it's great. But yeah, I taught my neighbors how to find sand dollars. Like it's just a lot of fun. I love the ocean. I do have a great story. So my dad, my brother, and I were in the water, and there weren't that many people in the water. We didn't really think about it. And there was a porpoise about 12 feet from us. And we're like, oh, look, a porpoise. Because when we were younger, we'd go to the library all the time. My parents took us to the library. My brother, sister, and I would check out like 4 to 7 books, whatever it is. And then next week we'd come back, get new books. And my brother and I would go through themes. So we'd read about like war machines, tanks and stuff. We'd read about wildlife, like uh, sea animals like dolphins and sharks. We liked sharks, but because a dolphin could kill a shark, we read about dolphins. And porpoises are like the dolphin's cousins, so we read about them. So at that time, we knew the difference between a shark, a dolphin, and a porpoise. I couldn't tell you now, but back then, yes. So we were trying to get closer and closer to this porpoise, and we got within 6 feet of it, and then it swam away. Like it was just one of the coolest things I ever experienced. And then we get onto the shore, and this lady's running down the beach, shark, 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 shark. And my mom was totally calm for some reason. I guess she knew that we knew the difference, and she didn't like she was just very calm, which seems strange thinking about it now. But the lady didn't know, so she was being helpful. But yeah, we looked around. We were literally the only ones in the water at that time. Just super cool.
That's awesome, man. I actually have a funny beach story as well. I was on vacation, and one of our family members' friends was like out in this area that everybody told her not to be in. And because there was, I don't know what it was, but like the tide that kind of sucks you in, right? So where no matter how hard you swim, you can't come back to shore. And she's screaming for everybody to like come help her, like really screaming and panicking. And you can like hear it in her tone. And I was the only one taking her serious. Everybody was laughing at her, even her daughters, like everybody. And so like I kind of panicked, and I was like, well, I have to go like try something, right? Like I'm strong, like I can go do something. So like I swim out there, and I'm like keeping her up, and she's panicking and like hit me in the face and grabbing onto my head and like pushing me down, this like full panic mode. And I was skinnier than I was today, and she was a kind of heavy woman. So like I am giving it everything for about 10 minutes, and I start going under a little bit, and I'm like, I can't do this. So I was like, all right, I need to use every last bit of energy that I have to start screaming back to like let them know that this really is no joke. And so I like screamed back, and like all the parents had to come, and like all the dads anyways came and right and came and like pulled me out, and we all get up there, we're all out of breath a little bit, and the girl who I tried to save was just like, oh, thanks, Gordon, to like my friend's dad. And I was just like, yeah, no, don't worry about it. Thanks, Gordon. Great job, man.
I almost drowned trying to save you, which that's how it happens, right?
Right.
It's like normally the savior becomes the victim by the person who's drowning, because they'll just do anything to save their own hide. It's weird, but yeah. I'm glad you were not a victim in that case,
No, I was like 2 minutes away from having to like push her off and being like, sorry.
You're out.
Yeah.
Between you and God now.
Sorry, y'all. I know we got off topic, but I love that I had those moments, man. But Crypto Z, he's been waiting for a while. What is the time frame of your trades?
Everyone's a little bit different. I'd say my bread and butter at the moment, just because the market's very chaotic, is 10, 15 minutes. I try to be in and out. If it's a nice trending market, maybe I'll try to get in and be in for like a couple weeks to a couple months. I like that style, but just in today's market, it's really hard to do that. So I'm trying to be in and out 10, 15 minutes as far as crypto and Forex is concerned. And the stock market, I'm trying to be like multi-day, like maybe get in something one day and be out the next day, or 2 days from then, something like that.
So do you trade on ETH and like use DeFi and all of that as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I find that you probably have to have thousands of dollars considering gas fees. You're basically, if you're trying to do is 100, you're kind of 5 to 10% already down considering the gas fees. And do you think when ETH becomes more valuable, do you think that's going to bridge people over to Cardano because people won't be able to afford the gas anymore?
I think that some people already have. What was it, last summer? A lot of people came from ETH for that very reason. But because Cardano, the NFTs just have been really stagnant and just having a hard time. Excuse me. I think due to that, a lot of people went back. So mostly what I'm playing on right now with DeFi, like I enjoy Cardano a lot. I've been playing on Arbitrum a lot too. I love Arbitrum. It just seems like the place to be right now. A lot of your traders are on Arbitrum right now. So a lot of your platforms are there. I know a lot of people are on Solana. They love Solana. Solana, you have to make a new wallet for. So I just, out of sheer laziness, you know, it just is what it is. There's not enough time in the day to do everything. And
Gotcha.
I think around 2007, I came up with this epiphany where I don't have to be in a trade every day. And that really changed my life. That really has. Like, that's, if I was giving someone any advice, that probably would be number one. You don't have to be in a trade every day. And I did lose a lot of clients off of that. It's just, you know, they're like, oh, I can't do that. I have to be in FOMO. You know, but those are the people that are probably never going to be successful. Not to be mean, it just is what it is, right? I'll tell you a story real briefly on that. So in, I think it was 2015 or 2016, I know exactly where I was, but I spoke to this guy, and this was when I was doing a lot of training, teaching people how to trade. He had lost $400,000 in the market, which seems insane. I'm like, after 30,000, you didn't think any, but I, you know, I can't say this to him. I'm thinking it in my head, right? But I spent a total of 2 weeks with him, probably at least 14, maybe 16 hours, and it may be 2.5, 3 weeks. But I wanted to see if I could actually help him, you know, because something like that is terrible. Like, that's more money than some people make in their lifetimes. You know, depending on where they're at and, you know, what kind of job they have. But it just seemed crazy to me. So I really wanted to help him, but then after speaking to him, I realized I just couldn't. So, you know, that was probably the saddest point in my life right there. Well, you know, outside of like life in general, you know, like my dad passing away and stuff like that. But it was just a sad moment for me. And I, realizing there was nothing I could do, I kind of just had to tell him, you know, there's nothing I can do. I'm not going to put you on a program. I'm not going to, you know, charge you anything at all. It's because, you know, I can't help you. But yeah, like that, like just being, you know, stubborn, not having the right mindset. And it really does come back to that. So.
Yeah. Do you still do individual clients and stuff like that?
No. I quit doing that probably the end of 2021, I think.
Okay. How have you found that? Have you found it to be less stressful because you feel like you don't have to perform for other people?
I have a lot more time for sure. I used to do like group trainings like for the past little bit over a decade, where people would come in. I would use like GoToMeeting, and you know, people would come in and they'd see my screen, and I would, you know, do trades in front of them. And it after a certain amount of time, it just seemed like I was just wasting my time, because most people, all they want is to be spoon fed. Tell me when to trade. Tell me when to trade. And I'm like, I'm over it. You know, it's just after a certain amount of time, I just was very tired. You know, I'm okay if I show you trades and you want to learn and I teach you, and I like that. I love that, and that's what I want alpha surfers to be. But I also want to be able to give other types of information, like mindset, you know, how to gain more focus, how to be more aware, how to, you know, change your mindset when you go into different rooms, you know, how do you be more present, stuff like that. I think that's more importantly what I want to do with alpha surfers, more than just the trading. The trading is a bonus, but you know, that's something I've done for a while. So to me, it's a tad boring. I know to some others, it's, you know, not boring at all. It's something they want. And, you know, so I have a little bit of everything, I guess.
Yeah, something I'm curious about too, because I know you said a lot of your time frames are like 10, 15 minutes, but then you do have a few that are a little bit longer swing trades. How do you determine what you want to go long on? Like, how do you know or predict in your mind, like, oh, this is an asset that will continue for potentially a few weeks, as opposed to like, oh, this is just like a temporary breakout?
A lot of it is some of it's like the overall environment, right? So if your larger indexes aren't doing anything, then you can kind of gauge that your smaller markets aren't doing anything either. I guess that is a little subjective, but I use a couple different instruments. One of my main things I use is Elliott wave theory, and that kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of what to look for. And then you have your validation areas, your confirmation, and your invalidation areas. So that's kind of what I look at with that is I'm looking at certain areas of the chart. Like some of them are small zones, but a lot of them are pretty finite levels. And if I'm like, if it breaks this level, it's going to invalidate this particular setup, but it's going to give more weight to this other setup. So I'm playing a lot of probabilities. I know the brain doesn't really like probabilities; it likes certainty, and that's kind of hard to learn. Still mental stuff, but that's mostly what I'm looking at. I'm like, okay, 80% chance it goes in this direction. The overall market's doing this, so I'm going to look for something longer. And when I look at the charts, I draw them out. I can see it going up here versus, you know, this is probably going to bounce. Like if I take the Arbitron trade last night, yesterday afternoon, my time, I put on the trade. I went for a hike. When I got back, it was pushing up. I waited a little bit, and then it hit my level, and I got out. That's what I was looking for. It went slightly past my initial target, but it went to my second target, and I was able to get out. So I was very comfortable with that. The risk was very, very small, and that's usually what I look at. Like as long as it's low risk, I'm getting in. But yeah, the overall market definitely does have an effect on things.
So, with these NFTs, is there going to be any sort of like group push for a certain like coin or a certain alpha thing that everybody like buys into to kind of really shake up the market like a little bit? Because when you think about it, so it's different if you have like just 10 people, right?
Yeah.
That it's completely different. 10 people with $1,000, right? Let's say is you know that's good. That's a good amount, you know. But you're talking about hundreds, possibly thousands of people. Is that part exciting for you, or is that something you want to do, or no? You know?
Yeah, so the goal is definitely to grow the Discord 20, 30,000, 100,000. That's, you know, we have a big, big goal. I always believe go big or go home. If you have a big vision, create something worth it. It's going to make you get out of bed every single day, not jump out of bed every day and just, you know, you want to tackle life. You know, it just makes you happy. It sounds like you're asking about front run trades. Are you asking something like that? Okay. So eventually, when we get a lot of people into the Discord, you know, our goal is never to front run trading. That's not our goal. And if you look at my trades, I'll give you the setup before it even gets there. And then once it gets there, I'm entering and I'm gone. So a lot of times I'll show the trade, and prior to alpha surfers, there's just so much going on right now, you know, trying to get the light paper done, set up interviews, and make trades, and, you know, run the Discord, get it looking as good as possible, because I'm always trying to, you know, work on how it's structured because there's so much stuff involved. But ideally, like I can show my trade a few hours before I even enter. I think that's important. Like if you can, I guess I started this about 5, 10 years ago, being able to and it's hard to do this day trading. I mean, day trading is, nearly impossible. But if you're swing trading, show your trade 3, 4, 10 hours prior to your entry, you should be able to do that. So as far as swing trades, I made a trade on Euro, and I had this set up there for probably at least a month. I'm looking for it to come into this green zone. That's what I showed there. And when it came in, it popped off and ran. I don't remember what it did. Let me see if I can pull it up. It's under stock swing trades, I think. Or it might be somewhere else. Because I set up with the FXE, which is basically the same thing as the Euro. It's like I don't remember. But anyway, it was set up for about a month. And it came down, hit it, bounced off, ran quite a bit. That's what I'm trying to do, having swing trade sections. So I have my trading section, and then I have a swing trade section. So you'll be able to come in, and the swing trades those setups will be there at least a few days in advance. And so that should alleviate any of that. As far as the trades that I post, those are trades that I'm personally taking. Like every single trade that I post are trades that I'm taking.
So we had Hugs Not Rugs just, tell us that snek is now trying to break out once again. And
Nice.
I know you said you weren't into snek, you don't play meme coins or anything, but I am definitely speculating for sure by playing snek, but it is Cardano at the moment's biggest meme coin, right?
Yeah.
And with everything, Goofy's been doing, he did the cards that could give crypto to people who haven't been in crypto, help them kind of, get onboarded to a wallet, hand out some free crypto through those cards. He's got the snek energy drink. He did get listed on 1sex back in the day, but it wasn't a big one, right? So it didn't draw in like extreme hype. I think more so the announcement that it would probably be on any DEX was more of an announcement than the announcement itself. But I do believe that at some point, Cardano didn't have DeFi last bull run. And a lot of our coins at some point are going to get extreme volume that we've never seen before. And that could be next year after, a lot of the bull run is mostly over, or the year after rather, in 2025, when we're kind of coming to our 2-year bull end, which will happen again at some point. It'll be sad, but take your freaking profits, right? So are you not speculating at all on snek? Like, yes, it's a meme coin. Yes, you can't really go off of like fundamentals or anything, but you see the potential, right?
Oh, I see the potential for sure. Yeah.
Is it still just like not stupid, but I'm going to say, is it still a stupid idea to try to play something that's like not fundamental?
I don't think it's a stupid idea. That's not a term I would use. Basically, I see snek as like, I want to say it was what year would it have been? Like 2003, 2004, 2005, I think. You had these companies, and Taser was one of them. I don't know if you remember that, where they would come out and fundamentals did not matter one thing. It was all on what they were doing, what they were telling, the narrative that they were making, and that's what they were trading on. And then eventually they all got knocked down and they started trading more fundamentally. But it was similar to that time period. So snek is definitely the largest meme token on Cardano. They have the energy drink. I don't really know anything about that. Some people told me they like it.
No, it tastes good. I got to try some.
Good.
Yeah.
And I've been told that by a lot of people that it tasted good, which is a good thing. I know they were out. They were trying to market. I think the first meme token was ever Hosky, or at least that's the first one I know of. And then snek came out and just like blew things out of the water. So is snek going to get more valuable? Hands down, I think, of course. Would I ever trade snek? I don't know. I never say never. I mean, I'll probably trade pretty much anything I can, right? Only a couple markets I've never traded, bonds and actually bonds. Yeah, that's about it. That's the only market I've never traded. As far as tradable instruments go right now, snek is looking good. There's definitely some resistance a little bit higher, probably from 0.0021 to 0.0025. Over that, you know, especially if when the DeFi takes off, you know it's going higher. So I think that snek's looking all right. But yeah, I'm excited because you know when the DeFi does pop off, you're going to have your fundamentally sound names do well, but then the meme tokens always are going to do well. It's just something that's a certainty. Like when snek came out, more people came to Cardano than anything else. And that's a fact. Like more people came for a meme token. And that's just the way crypto is. Like I think every chain probably is like that. I haven't done research. That's just my speculation. But you know, having snek do that, I think is pretty cool.
And
So
also,
at one point, I had 2 billion snek.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
What is that worth now?
2
let's go.
billion
We can
snek?
go check it on MinSwap. Let me go check.
Yeah. But so, not to be like negative Nancy, because that's not what I'm about. Again, last week, I switched my train of thought to where it's like, okay, we are in a bull run, obviously. Shit is going up. Like, but I still think there's going to be a pretty hefty market correction in traditional finance that we're still due for. How do you think that'll affect the crypto market? I think it'll have a huge correction on Cardano, right? Because you can't just have this meteoric rise, right? That just is crazy. I mean, dude, let's face it. Like 2 months ago, we were buying ADA at like 24, 26. You know what I mean? And now we're at 61. Obviously, can't keep up, but yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
So
2 billion snek would be 2 million.
Okay. Yeah.
2 million
yeah.
ADA.
So yeah, that'd be 2 million ADA right now. That's how much you had? You had 2 billion snek?
That's crazy.
No, I'm sorry. 200 million. Sorry,
Okay.
275 million. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, I was like,
That's
bro.
still a lot.
Sorry.
Yeah. Still.
There were snek billionaires though.
That's 500,000 ADA almost. When did you sell, bro? When did you sell?
I want to cry, like real at the first leg up, you know.
I mean, you made your money, man. You can.
I mean, I may have done the same thing.
Right. Like nobody knew, and especially before that time, like snek was what reintroduced liquidity into Cardano. Right. At that time, you played it as if it was anything else. Right. You did the right thing. You were just, you're just wrong at that one time.
Yeah.
Like
coulda, woulda, shoulda, man.
Can we say insanely wrong? But the thing is, I didn't lose money, right? I never feel bad about not losing money.
Right.
Yeah.
But Cardano will be, $5 in my opinion at some point. And 500,000 ADA at $5 would have been pretty great.
Yeah.
Definitely. What do you think about the highs of Cardano? I've seen a lot of people using technical analysis. Some people say TA is stupid on crypto. It doesn't work that way. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
I mean, technical analysis works on anything. Like, it literally works on anything. Some things that are more illiquid will have more of an issue, like doing technical analysis on penny stocks. Like, you're not going to get as much value as if you're doing technical analysis on like your major cryptos or your blue chip stocks or something like that. But you can do technical analysis on anything. It's just, are you doing the technical analysis correctly or not? I try to use the terms like correct and incorrect rather than like successful or failure. I mean, wins or losses or gains or right or wrong. I think terminology really does matter a lot, but that's a side topic. ADA moving up strongly is pretty cool. I was looking for around that 24-cent level. I was looking for 40, 42 cents, and then it kind of just took off and started going crazy, which is fun to see. Like, we're all here in Cardano. Like, this is all of our home base. So like, it's great to see, the home team do well.
Yeah, I had a conversation with my brother, and I've been having it in my own head. And it's that like I did put in a decent amount of money comparatively to like what I could put in at the time at 25 cents. So almost the exact bottom, right? And I just did that just because I believed in Cardano and Bitcoin started popping off. And I was just like, all right, well, while this is happening, let me just throw in a small bag that I can afford into Cardano. Super happy I did that, but now wishing I threw in more, of course. And I'm wondering, like, this is just the start. And if it's not just the start, then we could have some downside to come. But I guess what I'm saying is, do I throw in my bag that I've been waiting to throw in now, or do I wait for some sort of correction? What's your opinion on that?
Okay, correction.
I mean, the best spot would be get a time machine and go back to 24 cents, right?
Right.
But right now, it's kind of at a crux. It really is. Like, it can easily find some resistance up here between, you know, anywhere between the most recent highs up till probably like 66 cents. It can easily find that resistance. And that could bring it all the way back down, back below 40 cents. Like, that's valid. It can also find some support very, very soon and just start pushing up above 75 cents and just going crazy. Like, it can do that as well. If it was to do that, you do want to see it stay above that 41, basically that 41, 42 cent area. Ideally, you'd want to see it stay above that, and then it can keep moving up. If it gets back below that, then it can have a much larger drawdown.
That's so
kind of
far down, isn't it? That's so crazy to think
But-
about, like 41.
But it's crypto though, dude.
I know.
It's crypto though, dude.
No,
We've had
I know.
40% swings in a day. Bro,
Yeah.
in the past month, look at Cardano. It's gone up 300% almost.
Right. There was this chart that Alex Becker posted. I mean, I know a lot of people hate that dude. He's, is what it is. But he posted this chart about Bitcoin and how it goes up and then falls down 38%, and then goes up higher, falls down 38%. And it does that like 8 or 4 times or whatever it is, throughout the crypto bull run. So yeah, we should be, and I want people to be aware of that happening. I don't want people to panic sell, if that's your belief. If you want to try to like time all the tops and like get back in after these corrections, I mean, go for it. I personally don't want to play that game. That has my heart racing way too much. I want to kind of just like buy, go to work, come back, buy, go to work, come back. So what do you think about that? Do you try to play those tops and those bottoms?
Yeah, I'm usually trying to play them to some extent. Like, I'm not going to call a top and a bottom very often. So I'm not trying to like top tick or bottom tick anything. I'm trying to wait for some structure to show up and then make a trade is what I'm waiting on. So I'm not trying to say, oh, I want to sell it at 70 cents because I think that's where it's going. Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. That's like jumping in front of a freight train. But if resistance was to show up and it was to move down in a certain way, I would look to want to be short. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do. Like, I'll top tick and bottom tick stuff every now and then, and when I do, it's cool. But I know that that's very rare. So
it's like more of a guess at that point.
Yeah, pretty much. You're just kind of gambling at that point.
But okay,
Yeah.
So Nick, would you sell now to get in at a possible 40 cents or no?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think that we are way too early. I mean, I'm not trying to do what CMatt's doing. I've tried to, get in and out of multiple things, success and unsuccessfully. I've learned a lot from that. But for right now, I bought Cardano because I believe that at some point it'll be $5. I have seen the runs throughout crypto. I have seen them go up 30% day after day. I have seen them go up, 100% in a day. I don't want to be thinking and trying to top tick in the middle of some 100% breakout and then regret it and try to like buy back in later. I'm not trying to do any of that. I'm not trying to also spend 25% on taxes every time I have a successful trade. I'm trying, if I could hold for a year, and then I think, what does the taxes go to after you've held for a year? Like 15, 10%?
It's
something like
mostly long-term gains at that point.
Yeah, it's
Right.
long-term games.
So that's more so what I'm personally trying to do with Cardano. Now with Hunt and Snek, I have taken some profits. Like I said, I did sell all my Snek and I did not put in as much as I had. I took 108 of profit and just left in the rest. So now I have like 668 total, which I'm up another 100 after putting it back in. So like I've done that, but ultimately I'm trying to leave it in. I think Cardano has never had that crazy breakout of like what was Bonk, right, on Solana, and it went on a decentralized exchange most recently, I want to say like a week or two ago, and now it's at like a 400 something million market cap. Let me go check. But
just,
people are up so much.
It's
like,
so funny because I got into Utes, right? And then they airdropped Bonk to people. So that day, I remember talking to you and I was like, I got $1,200. Like, and I was like, I'm cashing out now, right? Because I waited like
Nice.
a couple weeks and it rose and it rose and it rose. And I sold out of my Bonk or whatever. And I got like $1,200 for free. It's like I'm waiting for Cardano to do that. But the problem is most of these people have venture capitalists that are backing them.
yeah.
And Cardano, we don't like that. Right.
But I've been thinking about this a lot too. And everybody's been trying to kind of say like some sort of technical analysis or like reasons why people would come to Cardano. Like we're waiting on Hydra, right? The speeds. That's why people aren't here. We're waiting for, you know, the aggregator. We're waiting for this. And they throw out these terms that like may or may not be true. But I think ultimately people are here to make money. Why are people buying any coin that's not in the top 10, right? There's a lot of these coins that aren't doing anything. Some of these coins aren't doing a thing, including a lot of meme coins, but people are still buying them. They still have hundreds of millions of dollars. And there's a bunch of coins that are doing that. People are not buying because of the technology. So at some point, I believe people will see Cardano DeFi and they will come here to make money. I don't think that they're going to be bothered by the slow transactions. They're just going to try to get in early so somebody else has to deal with slower transactions. I think that they might use it as an excuse to FUD it for a little bit. I think they might be mad when they're not used to it and they have to wait 20 minutes for a transaction to go through and snek goes up another 10 cents and now they have to cancel that order and put it back in. People will hate that. People will tweet about it. But ultimately, I think money wants to make money and they're going to look for it any way that they can get it. And I believe Cardano is not any different than any of these other coins.
Yeah, I agree. Money wants to go where money can grow. And that's exactly what's going to do. Like over the past couple of weeks, I've seen some new people coming into Cardano and they ask questions like, well, if I stake for this ISPO, how do I add to it? You know, like they ask basic questions, but those are valid questions. And we as people in Cardano, we need to be sympathetic to that and just answer the question rather than saying something mean. And, you know, like I was there when the question was asked, so I answered it. And, you know, people were like, thanks for helping out, you know, whatever. But that's how it should be. You know, it seems like Cardano has become like almost like a daycare where like people are like, oh, well, you're doing something good. Let me tear down your castle, make my castle look bigger. You know, and that it's really the opposite of how it should be. Like I should build my castle and help you build your castle, and you can help someone else build their castle, and eventually we're all doing well. That's how it should be. And I think Cardano will get back to that. But I think the bear market has really brought out a lot of the worst in people, in my opinion.
Yeah. And also, while we have some people here, I know you wanted to give away some whitelists. So
Yeah.
if any of you guys want a whitelist, I'm just going to have you type in, I don't know, something, just anything. Because I found out Discords no longer have like your name and then hashtag a number. They're just doing whatever the name is. So just type in whatever your Discord name is. And we're going to pick a winner here. We're going to pick a few. Let me find where the bot is, the giveaway tool. Choose live stream. Match text.
Cool. And while he's doing that, to answer your question earlier, Clean, you asked about the traditional market and if it breaks down, how's it going to affect crypto? Like right now, we're in a creative monetary bubble in the market. It just is what it is. Like they're using money to kind of prop things up. So when that does break, I think it will break and crypto will follow. Because right now, crypto is more of a risk-on asset. I know it's kind of meant to be a risk-off asset, but it's more of a risk-on asset. So I think that's where things will get hit. But I do think there's a little bit more time of the creative monetary policy going on.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so everybody who's watching, just type in your Discord name. Maybe we have a few people who are like, working while they're listening and they can't type or whatever. So no big deal. If we only have like 2 people responding, you can both get the whitelist, and maybe we can give away one inside of my Discord. And then I'll get back to you with whoever the winner is.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Cool. So what's on the plate for y'all today? Are you looking or actively trading today? Is there anything you're looking at?
I was making trades today. I made a lot of trades on ADA actually earlier today. So I was in that little run up between what was it, 8 o'clock and 8:40, somewhere in there. And then most recently, like at 12:35, I jumped into a trade, and then I jumped out as it hit my first resistance at 61.61. I jumped out a little bit prior to that, mainly because I knew I was coming on here, and I had needed to restart my computer. That's why I got here just in time. So yeah, but yeah, I'll probably look to play some more ADA probably. I wanted to trade Bitcoin, and Bitcoin came right down to my level, but I was in the middle of a Cardano trade, and that's what I was focusing on, and I missed it. But I think that's one of the things we have to be comfortable with, is some things we're going to miss, and that should be okay. And I may trade some Australian dollar as well, because that's starting to look pretty good.
Gotcha.
Nice.
So we're gonna pick our first winner, and if anybody doesn't know, you're typing in your Discord name into the chat, and then I'm going to be picking a winner. So our first winner is hopefully not me. A Devo 43.
Yeah, there you go.
Congratulations, homie. So if you want to join the Alpha Surfers channel or Discord, you can know Discord. Are you saying you don't have a Discord, CryptoZ, or are you saying I didn't link it? Because I'm going to try to link it in the comment section right now.
Okay.
I'll also put it into the description after the podcast is done. So here, let me post it. And that's the link to the Alpha Surfers Discord. Yep, and then we'll pick one more in a few minutes. Just let everybody kind of catch up, get on the same wavelength as everybody. So if you don't know, we are giving away a whitelist spot for the next Alpha Servers mint, which will have about 30 NFTs, you said?
I'm assuming it's going to be about 30 to 50. We're not going to cap it. We're going to have a hard cap off with how many whitelists we have. So everybody who has a whitelist will be able to mint, and then after that, it'll be over onto the next phase, which we're thinking we might just wait for that to be after like June or something like that.
Okay.
So
this will be potentially the next mint until June.
Yeah.
Or the last mint until June. Gotcha.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and throw Devo the Surf Spotter roll. All
nice.
right. Got your whitelist set up. Thanks, brother, for joining.
And then CryptoZ, do you already have a whitelist? Because right now it's only you and Hugs. So we could just give you guys both. If you just want to enter the Discord, you are the only people typing. So make it easy on you.
Makes sense.
Oh, you already have a whitelist, CryptoZ? Okay. Well, let's go ahead and give one to Hugs. He is Mateo 5 Boles, maybe. So if there's one of those in the Discord, that might be him.
Mateo 5. I don't have a Mateo in the Discord.
Okay, well, join the
Hugs,
Discord.
not Rugs, I've heard of.
Yeah, maybe Hugs is in there. I'm not sure.
There's a free Hugs.
That's usually him. Yeah.
That's him.
Yep. Cool.
Nobody _K.
So we'll give away one more inside of my Discord later. Cool. Appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate both of you. Thank you.
Yeah.
No problem, brother. And so with these NFTs, guys, if you didn't know, it's going to allow you to be a part of the alpha group where you can see the trades that CMatt makes. And then you'll also get a percentage of the gains that he's made. And so far to date, he's up 40%, which is pretty freaking good.
Thank you.
Because how long?
Free Hugs is a homie.
Free Rugs is a homie, but not you? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So not so fast, my friend.
So I'll join the Discord. Don't think I'm there. Okay, cool. So he's on his way.
Okay, cool.
Good. Yeah. So it's pretty exciting. Bull market.
Hell yeah.
That's just my thinking. I'm full bull now.
All right. So you said you changed your mindset to a more positive mindset. And I found that a little interesting too, because you could even have like a negative mindset and still invest. So do you find that believing, like truly believing or convincing yourself to believe in the asset makes it easier for you to hold?
For sure. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I was always dollar cost averaging, right? This whole time, even like to this week.
Right.
Because the way that I look at it, let's say ADA makes $5, right? Am I going to feel bad that I bought in at 60 cents? Probably not. Because, I bought in pretty good at 24, 25, 26, for weeks on end, right? And so, it's just a mindset. Things were down so bad, right? And I was for a while heavily invested in NFTs, right? And it caused me to lose my butt a little bit because I was buying NFTs in the bear when shit was just overpriced. Like, bro, it was overpriced. People were like, well, projects were like, well, we still got to make $30 or like whatever, so that's 900 ADA. Yeah, let's do this for 900 or like whatever. And me being me, it's like, oh, I have ADA to play with, it's fine, like whatever. Like completely wrong. Like what I learned was that, okay, that's completely wrong and probably what you need to do. Now, keep in mind, this is different than the NFTs that you're going in for, right? Like your NFTs have a valid benefit of alpha group and other things like that, right? So it's not like your traditional NFT. I'm talking, when I say NFTs, I truly mean like the most degen shit ever, getting into Porky Island. You know what I'm saying? And no offense, Porky. It's just like, they're hilarious. But, it's not one of those things where it's like they're going to do the same things that he's doing, right? It's not there. So this is strictly just for the lulls. And I was buying NFTs at like 80.
There was a time to do that, There was a time there, you had the December to January through February even, of 2021, I want to say, or 2022, where it was going wild, right? That was when Boss Cats came out. That was when some other things came out. But now you have Cornucopias coming out with a new mint, right? Already putting it in USD, stating exactly what they want, which, cool. They're being upfront. But again, like I was telling you earlier, like I had to kind of like circle through my mind a billion different times, like, oh, well, they need the money. Like, oh, of course, because they're building something so big. Like, it doesn't matter that they have 1 billion assets already. Like, what's 1 billion and 10,000 gonna matter? Like, it's okay. And now they're coming out with another big mint. I know they've already said they're not going to stop it, so I'm sure this is even annoying them. But like, it's so hard as an investor for me to try to wrap my head around more. Like, I got into the project to try to be early. And there's just still more. And the first assets didn't even make me anything. Like, how do I know that this is going to make me something? And it's hard, man. I don't think that's like the play. I don't think that's going to make people money. Well, right. And if it's not going to make people money, how do they expect to sell out?
Okay. So CMatt die, right?
Yeah.
Like, I will tell you this, if you come out with a metaverse for some odd reason, literally you're going to lose your ass. All right. Like, I agree. There's only, okay. So all of this is predicated on the fact that tens of thousands of people or thousands of people are going to log into your server every day and play this metaverse or whatever. And you can only be on, well, I don't know how many you want to visit a day. I barely want to visit one. You know what I'm saying? Like, and for me, I've done Web3 gaming before. Like I did it with Makasi. I did it with Heavy Metals through Bored Apes and whatever. And dude, I lost my ass. We're talking investments of like 2 ETH each, right? And now it's at like 0.19 as a floor, you know? And so I'm buying these things at $2,800, right, at the time. And now it's worth 400, you know?
That's
And
rough.
it's disgusting, right?
Yeah.
The ultimate degen play. But I was hoping that it would get me access to more things with inside, you know, the club or like whatever. And so it's going to get me access to like their mech game that they're coming out with, and it's going to be, you know, on there or whatever. But I will say, like, you can't afford to spend all day in a metaverse, man. Like, it's just not going to happen. Sorry, Clays. You know what I'm saying? I love Clays, dude. I think they're great. You know, they were great for the ecosystem. They did a lot of cool things. But like, I don't want to spend all day in a metaverse, right? Like, it's, or you're going to have to heavily incentivize me to be in there, not just like a social meeting area, you know? And like, you brought up a good point earlier in like the pre-show or whatever. Like, bro, you bought a Goombel, bro, and you're already playing a game. Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
And I want to be clear, like, yes, I know they're building way different games. The scale is way different from what Goombles is trying to create. I do understand that. I'm just saying, as far as degen mixed with investor, this is what I want to see. I want to see me buying an asset. Months later, there's a result, and then another mint, you know, to help with the current result to make it better, right? It's hard to justify. Sure, I can see the pictures. I can see that Cornucopias, those guys are great. They do weekly streams. They're very smart. They're very knowledgeable. I do like them. But it's hard when I see my very first investment bought from them, not like losing me money. And then even the other ones, like every single thing that I bought from them is down or break even at best. And I want to see something towards the investors. And you know, the answer, just wait. Like, I'm sick of waiting. I'm so sorry, man, but I am sick of waiting.
right.
I can't buy into another. Like, what is your opinion on that? Do you see them selling out? Do you think this is a bad move? Do you think they have to keep doing this because they need the money? Like, what is the answer for them?
I don't know. They just keep minting and minting and minting. And I know, like, some people talk about them just being a little bit of a succubus, like just taking ADA out of the market over and over and over again. They had a pretty cool racing setup at CNFT Con or whatever it was, whatever they're calling it now, NFT Vegas or something. But yeah, you're right. They're not really delivering. Now, I love the concepts that they're coming out with, the different domes and how you're going to be able to search for them, and then the race teams. Like, I see a lot of benefit in that. And Alpha Surfers has access to like a rare mythic dome and a race. We're trying to create like a racing team. I think that's going to be something cool and give us a little bit of marketing. But yeah, it is taking a while, and they've already said they're going to mint a new javelin every year, and they're going to mint like whatever the other racing vehicle is they have. They're going to mint like every single year. They're going to mint one, and that, I don't know how they're going to be able to do that. Like, I know they're looking at a larger market, like in 2026, 2027, when the bull market's going on and people are coming in. And yeah, you're going to have enough for like 5 million assets or whatever it is. Probably over embellishment. But right now, it is difficult. You know, you have all these metaverses that are trying to build and come up with stuff. And like, I think Balls Planet came out and said that their Balls game will be out in 2024, but the metaverse is still, you know, off into the future. And I think a lot of metaverses are like that. Like, maybe Cornucopias, the race game, I expect it in 2024. If not, then that's going to be a sad moment. But the whole metaverse aspect is years and years away, I believe. So like what Clays are doing, and they have a smart team. You know, Balls Planet, they have a smart team, but I do feel that metaverse is way off into the future, and you either buy some and hold it, or you wait and maybe you get a better price. Do you not? You know, I would have to say you probably will. No offense to any of them. Some of them have some great teams, but as far as a short term, medium term trade, like you're looking like very long term, I think.
Yeah, I found it really interesting too that there was, when they bridged, their token over to the ETH bridge, they had a 750,000 ADA purchase, right? Which was one of the largest purchases of their token maybe ever. And I was like, oh wow, like this is really going to start blowing up. Some of their assets went up a little bit, but basically nothing in comparison to that purchase. So I don't know if there's definitely more money in DeFi, but I really thought that would bring over some money into their assets. And if that's not happening after that, I just don't know what it's going to take.
Yeah, I don't know. I think what they're trying to do is similar to what Virtua is doing. Virtua has their ETH and their Cardano, and I think that Cornucopias is trying to do a similar thing. How are they going to do it? I have no idea. It's definitely going to be complex because it has to be. Maybe they're just adding a liquidity for their Kopi token on Ethereum. I don't really know that much. I don't have enough time to spend watching, listening to them, so I really have no information from them. Just speculation on my part.
Oh, so you think it was a part of their team, maybe, perhaps, that had to buy that much to provide liquidity?
That's kind of what I'm thinking, is that they're just providing liquidity on that chain, so that way people can go back and forth. Because I'm starting to see that theme in other projects now. Some with Ergo, for example, just putting a pool with their Cardano token over there so they can bridge it back and forth. So doing that with ETH does make sense, because I'm pretty sure they're going to mint something on Ethereum. I just don't know what it's going to be. So having that liquidity pool there where you can bridge back and forth makes sense.
Well, they are doing some of their NFTs on ETH. So this new mint will be, I believe, on ETH and Cardano.
Okay.
Yep. So I think that's also why they're using a USD amount, so it's a little easier for people to gauge what the prices may be coming up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sorry, go on.
Oh, I was gonna say that's what I like to look at a lot, is the USD price. Like even if I'm trading native tokens, like I'll use ADA to do it, but I always use the USD price to kind of see how I did.
Right. And I wanted to touch on your NFTs, because I know you said alpha, not just trading, right? And we've been kind of always talking about DeFi, and we were talking about crypto. So like, do you have alpha for other NFT projects as well?
Yeah, so we do, we have trade ideas, and then we have project analysis. So I'll go through, most of that is NFT projects or ecosystem-based projects. So like, for example, I have one on Hunt. I did that before we entered that position. I have NFT projects, so like, Clay and Boss Cats that I've written stuff on. And then, we do a lot of community interaction as well. Like, if someone has any thoughts in certain projects, then, we can always include that. And we try to make it like unbiased as possible. Just, have the facts. These are the facts here. And then every now and then I'll have like my final thoughts section or something like that. And I make sure it's, separate. And then I'll include my thoughts. But most of it's just unbiased. Like, these are the facts, what's happening.
Gotcha. And then, so this is like the question that's, going to be asked probably everywhere, and it already has been. But with crypto going up in value, more specifically Cardano, will NFTs, in your opinion, continue to fall in price?
I've been asked that too recently. What my speculation is, so usually the layer ones will go up, and once they start moving sideways, that's when your altcoins start rising. What my speculation is, once they start moving sideways, and then there's something else between there, then the NFT market will go up. So I do think the CNFTs will struggle for at least a few more months. I mean, this is coming from someone with an NFT project. It is what it is. NFTs will, I think, continue to struggle, and the ones you want to enter, make your shopping list, and when they drop down, this is where you want to enter. For example, plays right now, they're at the same price that they were prior to the Snoop Dogg announcement. Because I was in prior to that announcement, and I flipped afterwards, and now they're right back where they were, maybe even a little lower. But yeah, NFTs are just struggling right now, and I think the major theme is going to be utility. That's going to be the theme of 2024, I think. Or do you have stuff attached to it? You know, like Spacebugs has their poker platform, and they're having a fitness thing. We have our investment club. Who else has a utility? Other projects who have utility, they're going to be looked at more. You know, Ape Society has a levy and a few other features. You know, so like I think that's going to be the main thing. That's what a lot of people are going to start looking at. I don't think art is dead. I think in the NFT community, the community itself is technically a utility. I mean, I've joined, like what you guys were talking about before, I've joined a project just to play games with them because I thought the people were cool. And do I still have the NFT? I have no idea. I have too many wallets, but I probably flipped it. Because I have done that before, am I going to do that again? Probably. But yeah, communities really are going to be big as well. So I think that's going to be the next driver. But yeah, I think a few months of sadness still to come.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that too. And somebody who I follow a lot is Greed Melcoin. Don't know if you've seen him around tweeting his you know.
I've met him before. He's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love Greed, dude. He tweeted something the other day that really shocked me though. And it, you know, if it's coming from Greed, it's not. It's supposed to be shock value, but because it's Greed, you know, there's no shock. You know, he's gonna say some stuff. But he said he believes the Cardano NFT bottom is in. He said that, he tweeted that a day ago, and I was like, yo, no way he just tweeted this. Like, because he's right pretty often, in my opinion. I was just like, there's no way he just tweeted this. Like, he's got to be wrong. Like, this one time, I'm just like, I don't believe you. So what do you think, man? Do you think there's a possibility?
I mean, I guess if you're talking the overall market and average and everything, like, I don't really have those numbers in front of me, but that's not what I believe. I mean, I really do think it's going to be a utility game going forward. What do you have? What are you doing for us? Rather than, let me just buy this project and see what happens. I think it's going to be, what are you doing for us? Like, you want me to buy your project, but what do I get? I think that's what it's going to become, like a me game. And then when the bull market comes back, it'll go right back to where it was. But right now, because it's a bear market, people have been hurt. And because people have been hurt, they're going to be on guard, and I think that's going to be the main thing. So, or you know, projects that don't really have much, it's going to be hard for them. But then the projects that are, you know, doing things, they're going to be okay. I guess look at Impala. Like, they're doing a lot of good things. Like, they're helping people out. They have a token. Their token really hasn't done much. Like, it went up, I don't remember when it was it last year? It bounced, went up pretty high, and then it dropped back down, and now it's not that far away from the pre-sale price. So, you know, just because there is a project doing something good, it doesn't necessarily relate to value right now. But yeah, it's an interesting market. Yeah, free of pass. I have seen that.
I wanted to touch on this a little bit. So, you know, Freya Hoskinson, right, is the new Discord that opened up. It's, you know, $ Freya is going to be the token. It's some new meme coin that's got a lot of hype. They dropped these these passes to people who did like their meme giveaway, or to people who were in the Discord and won through getting to level 3 by spamming woof a billion times in the woof channel. You know, they had some fun things, but a lot of people were calling it a scam. A lot of people were saying it's the same people who tried to scam with whatever the last thing was. I forget the name, but you know, there was CNFT Warning called them out as a scam, and some other people called them out as a scam. So I just wanted to, like, I don't know, right? So what's interesting though is that these passes right now are 5,800 floor, But if you look at the activity, you can see nobody's buying them for any more than 3K, right? So at one point, there was one purchase for 5,600. Some people were calling that a wash trade. There was one for 4,444, whatever. So one for 5,700.
There were a lot of trades that were done with wallets that had 0 in them. You know what I'm saying?
I checked those wallets too. The only NFT inside of it is a Freya Pass.
And it stinks to high heaven.
Yeah. So I just wanted people to be careful, you know, just because the price is so high doesn't always mean it's worth it. Also, as soon as this mint happens for their coin, these passes will have, you know, their utility essentially cut in half, because it allows you to mint. It allows you to mint at a discount. And, you know, then, you know, once you use that pass, what else are you holding it for, really?
Yeah.
Right? Maybe royalties or something. So I don't know. I just wanted people to be aware of that. I don't know if it's a scam, right? I don't know who's running it. Nobody does. And I think that's part of why people are calling it a scam. So yeah, just wanted to kind of like put my 2 cents on that. What are your 2 cents on, you know, these coins kind of popping up out of nowhere? Like, do you think sometimes it's a fun thing to like try to play the hype, or like just stay away?
I think definitely caution is good. Like what you just said, be cautionary of this. I've heard a lot of people say that wash trades, and sometimes when you see wash trades, it's bad. Others, you know, like for example, Ape Society had wash trades in the beginning. It is what it is, but they've done a lot of good things. This I don't believe is like Ape Society. So yeah, I would take this cautionary. I like to play some things. Like I played Risk and I flipped it. And then I ended up buying into the project after like a few months after. But yeah, I think you know, caution, especially if you're unfamiliar with what the project is, you know, rather than just jumping in with the FOMO. I think it's better just to, you know, be on the side of caution. Like some things I haven't minted, and most things did rug, and some of them did very well. I'm happy to miss out on those because I missed the rugs. So
I was just muted, my bad.
There
but yeah, we also, inside of my Discord, I'll just show briefly, we have our Smash or Pass section, which has been dead for a while. There hasn't been much things minting. The last one was back in October, right, for Cardano Suns. Everybody said no. Most people in my Discord say no to everything. Not gonna lie. You can go through and there's just like, no, don't touch NFTs. This one, what was this? That's the big and the brave. So that was their last mystery chest. Of course, people are gonna mint those. But, you know, House of Titans was mostly not, but, you know, kind of 50-50. CNFT tools, everybody was right about that one. But anyway, just wanted to shout out my own Discord a little bit. We checked out Christmas or Xmas coin that's coming out today, actually. I'm staying away from it. I even have a whitelist. It's only 149 ADA, which isn't too bad, but I'm trying to put things into perspective lately of 149 ADA might not be $100 right now, but when it's at $5 or whatever, which is just the number I've had in my head, so you're going to hear it a lot, sorry. I'm not selling, you know, $700 whatever $50 worth of Cardano for this.
You kind of have to be Scrooge McDuckins right now, dude.
Right. And everybody's giving
this stuff.
Everybody's giving Goombles, the next mint, a mint. They're kind of pounding it right here. So it's not a huge scale. Like, we don't have a lot of voters at the moment. The Discord's kind of been, you know, dead along with the amount of mints that we've had. So that's probably why that is what it is. But public mint in 2 hours for Goombles, it's going to be insane.
So, which I think it's good. They got a working product, and, you know, watched your video on it, and it was cool. Really, really cool. You know, I think having a working product is good. Like, if you're doing a game, right? You know, I think Farmer's going to do just fine, you know, with what he's going to come up with. People, they did an art upgrade. Some people were mixed on it, whether they liked it or whatever. I personally liked it. It was fine. You know, it's just characters inside the game, no big deal. And so, yeah. But unfortunately, I have to go pick up my daughter. It is 2:25. So now is the time where I got to go pick up my daughter. Matt, you know, thanks for coming on and talking. It was very, nice to chat it up with somebody from my era, essentially. Because 9 times out of 10, it's like, all these young bucks and stuff like that. So it was cool to talk to somebody from like the 90s and shit. So that was awesome. I hope everything goes great. Atlanick, I'm getting out here. I will,
all right, homie.
Holler at you later. Have a good rest of the show. And peace out, everybody.
Great meeting you. Have a great one. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see you.
And pineapple always goes on pizza. We'll have to say that.
Yeah, I don't know if he has his own pizza shop, right? I don't know if it's his own, but
well, I spoke to him on chat before, and I know he always talks about pineapple and pizza. So I guess he runs a pizza place.
He wants to create his own. I know he was in talks for it. I actually haven't talked to him much about that. But I think right now he's a general manager at a pizza place. He did, I think, at one point have his own pizza place too, but then he left that to I think that was maybe when he created Lucky Lizards, right? I don't know if you've heard of Lucky Lizards, but that's an old school project that unfortunately never went anywhere. Had some ideas, like most projects, just kind of died off. But Crypto Z says Hope Mint is Saturday, Risk Mint Sunday, and Mint Monday. Wow. Those are actually, do you know anything about Hope? What is Hope?
I don't know what Hope is. I think that Mint was on Saturday. Oh yeah, Hops. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where Unforgettable and a couple guys are over there. Good group. I think it's going to be interesting. I have a whitelist over there for their Hops Pass brewery license. I think that's what they're calling it.
Yeah, shout outs to everybody who's trying to onboard people that aren't into Cardano or into even crypto, right? I think breweries are a good place to do that. People are kind of open, they drink a little bit, they're having fun. Like, I think you're more willing to hear ideas that you've never heard before when you're a little buzzed,
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So shout outs to those guys. Yeah, Hops, oops, all good, man.
And I think Unforgettable's been brewing his own beer for like the last 15 years or something like that.
Oh, nice.
Just as a hobby.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Should have it down.
I don't know much about hops myself, but that's what's up, man. If I could, have my own brewery, it'd be so freaking cool. But I wanted to make sure, did you cover everything that you wanted to cover in the project? I know we kind of branched off a little bit. Just want to make sure you got to say everything you wanted to say.
Yeah, I covered just about everything. One of the things that I was getting towards, but you guys had some questions, so I wanted to not take up everything. Take over your Lucky Ocean show. But yeah, we're thinking about having membership cards in the future. So the Prime collection will get the distribution. There's only going to be 1,129 of them ever. Like, there's not going to be any more. The membership cards you'll be able to collect, and they'll give you access to certain areas in the Discord, and that will basically give us a way to grow the Discord without hurting the main collection. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And then as an ode to the 90s that Cleanup just mentioned, that's what our NFTs are based on. Like the whole 90s, like grit and grind, like Ninja Turtles, like that's where I kind of took a lot of inspiration and just like went crazy with it.
Gotcha. Hell yeah, dude. Ninja Turtles. I remember playing that on like the PS1. There was some Ninja Turtles game and it blew up. I don't even remember what it was called, but you were like in the sewers for one of these levels and I was stuck there for years. It felt like I could just never get past it. Shout outs to Ninja Turtles. Dude, that's crazy.
I think I played them on the Genesis. There was like a really good game on the Sega Genesis, I want to say. But yeah, just so fun. The games were always a little bit more difficult. I always felt they were like easy once you figure it out, but like you had to figure it out first.
Yeah, definitely. I was like a young kid at the time, so I actually had like the older kids that I would go over because I was a part of like a daycare. So I would watch all these older kids play all the games, and they would never let me have a shot. So I would just watch them lose over and over again and just start raging. And even though I wasn't playing, it was so interesting. They wouldn't let me play any of the Resident Evils either, anything that had like guns or gore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just had to sit back and watch. But those were the days, man. That's what got me into it. That's what made me beg my mom for a little like handheld so I could Pokemon Yellow.
Oh wow.
That was the first game I ever owned, was a Pokemon Yellow.
Really? I
Yep.
remember. So when I was really little, we would play Tetris everywhere we went. We'd go on family vacations. It was like 7 hours away, and we would just all play Tetris. So like I would play Tetris, and then my mom would play, my brother would play. I don't think my sister played, but we would all try to beat our score. And each time we'd get a better score. Like it was just so fun. And then by the time we got there, it's like we never left. We just automatically were there. But yeah, Tetris and Dr. Mario were my first favorite games. And then from there it became like Ninja Turtles, Double Dragon, just games like that. I think it was called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. It was like my first favorite one. That was PS1.
Shredder's Revenge. This one right here.
Yeah.
Shredder's Revenge. Let's see. I don't know if I'd even memorize it by the title of the screen or anything.
I just Googled it. That's how I figured it out.
Yeah. These
no
games
way I
were
would
so
remember
fun.
that. And then like I guess Sonic was for the Genesis. I think I was confusing them.
Yeah, Crypto Z said it was the save ability. I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about, but I do like thinking about it now. Saving a video game and having a save file to start from probably was the most revolutionary thing for video games for a while, right?
Yeah.
Because you could just build on hours and hours of gameplay. Before it's just like we just have to have like a Tetris game that can like end and then start and then end and then start, right?
Yeah, I know, that was so cool. And then you could, I think with the Ninja Turtles, you could do different turtles. Like, couldn't you pause it and bring in a different turtle?
Yeah, and some of them had like different range, and some of them had like different power hits to them, or at least I thought as a kid. I don't know. But yeah, man. I actually have to go too. I have to go to the store, but I will pick one more winner inside of my Discord, and I'll get back to you either tomorrow or the day after, and we'll get you one more whitelisted dude.
Awesome. That sounds good. And you have OG, by the way. I gave you an OG. If Cleanup wants one, tell him to hit me up. I can give him one too. I just didn't think about it before.
Yeah, all good. What's the mint price? Do you know?
Mint price is going to be 300 ADA. That's where we minted at last time. And the OG Surf Squad got to vote on it, and they wanted to do the same price again, which I feel is fair. I was thinking around there anyway. So yeah, 300 ADA.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you guys for coming out and watching CMatt talk about alpha surfers and getting to know them a little bit better. And remember to always go outside, see your family, see your friends. We're here to make more money so that we can spend more time with them. Until next time, guys. Peace.
Definitely. Take it easy.